Good morning. We have with us Dr. Suharsha Kantigoda, who is the founder of the Shanti Foundation, who will be giving us an insight into the Shanti Foundation and its work in Sri Lanka. Good morning and welcome, Doctor.
Good morning, Salia.
Doctor, how did this come by and how did you get into this project?
Well, Salia, while I was in Sri Lanka, I got the best education money cannot buy at Royal. And then I went to the Colombo Medical College and had a fantastic education over there. But unfortunately, I only worked there for a couple of years. I came to Australia, and then I've been serving Australia for the last 15 years. So I always felt a guilt in me because of what I did. And I always wanted to give back to the country that gave me so much initially. So I was looking at avenues of giving back, and then, as you know, after coming here, I became a specialist in palliative care, trained to become a specialist in palliative care, and I became a specialist. So, as Sri Lanka didn't have palliative care at that time, I thought, what better way of supporting Sri Lanka other than sort of helping Sri Lanka develop palliative care?
Yes, and also looking at the kidney disease that you've been really specializing in, really looking at focusing. What do you think, and how is it that this has become such a big disease in Sri Lanka?
Sally, the problem is, while I was actually helping Sri Lanka's National Cancer Control Program develop palliative care over there, I found out that there was a bigger problem happening in the North Central province and the surrounding areas called chronic kidney disease of unknown origin. So when what I did was, because of my curiosity, I actually went there myself. I took a few nephrologists from Sri Lanka, and I actually did a tour to Padaviya, Siripura, that area, to find out to myself what was going on. And when I went there, I found that there were streets of people where every person in that street was having kidney disease, which was independent of high blood pressure or diabetes, which are the normal causes for chronic kidney disease in countries like Australia. So, and there are streets called the Kidney Street in those areas, where everybody in that street, every family or every household in that street is affected by this disease. And the pathetic nature of the situation is such that even though they get dialysis free of charge from Anuradhapura and Padaviya hospitals, the traveling time and the cost of traveling to the place of dialysis cost them about 20,000 rupees a month.
And how do you address this situation? What was the Shanti Foundation, and how have you helped to improve their maybe their comfort levels or their disease levels in these areas?
So what happened was, it was an enormous task where there was about 400,000 people who have been affected. 25,000 people have already perished from this. So what we thought was, we felt that there were three ways that we could help. One was prevention. The other one was helping with treatment, which is something like things like dialysis. And the other one was palliative care. Because patients who cannot be treated, or even while they are on treatment, they get a lot of symptoms. These are symptoms which are worse than symptoms that a cancer patient gets.
Okay.
So we felt that all three components have to be developed. So what Shanti did was, Shanti Foundation has already installed 16 reverse osmosis machines in schools in the affected area to give clean drinking water to our next generation, so that at least our next generation will prevent from getting this dreaded disease.
Have you found the root cause of the disease? Where does it come down to?
Well, at the moment, they think there's a hypothesis where they think there is a multifactorial issue. One is the heavy metals from the pesticides and the agrochemicals that are being imported to the country. They tend to get into the hard water, which is endemic to the area, and together with the dehydration that these farmers go through, all those three things, plus there's another weedicide called glyphosate, which also seems to be compounding matters. So all these factors, plus others, get together to create the issue. But what is very interesting is, people who in that area like Anuradhapura, who get pipe-borne water, doesn't have this. So the only people who get it are people who drink from well, like groundwater. So normally, the kidney disease occurs in elderly people, but this is predominantly young farmers who tend to get this disease, and it looks like the young farmers get it mainly because of the use of agrochemicals
And the exposure
and
that
the
they have.
exposure to agrochemicals that they get.
So it's not only to Sri Lanka, but it's world. I mean, there are a few other countries in the world who are suffering from it.
Correct.
And the Shanti Foundation that you have formed, what is its activity? How do you raise these funds? And are you getting your targets, or can you do much more? Can the people of the Sri Lankan community help you in a bigger way? What have you planned?
So Shanti Foundation, since we found out about this problem, we've actually done quite a few things. Firstly, we've done promotional activities or awareness nights in Sydney, Canberra, and now in Melbourne. We are doing one in Melbourne on the 7th of June at the Springvale Town Hall. So everybody is welcome to that. So what we do is we raise awareness of people, and you know, whoever who can sort of support us will support us. I mean, it's not compulsory,
Oh yes.
but we just want people to know about this so that they are aware of this issue and they can support in any way possible. And this is the first time we are doing a fundraising or awareness night in Melbourne.
So that's on the 7th of June at the Springvale Town Hall.
Correct.
And there'll be Lenny Pascoe, the former Australian fast bowler, who will be comparing that function.
That's right. I mean, Len has been supporting Shanti Foundation from its inception. So even in most of our events, all our events, Len has been involved, and Len is a very close friend of mine.
He's an aggressive fast bowler. That's what I remember him as.
In fact, Len has, you know, last time when we had the event in Sydney, we had Doug Walters coming to the event, and this time we are hoping to have yourself and Mr. Asanka Gurusinghe coming as well, because we are going to auction off a 1996 World Cup winning cricket bat signed by all the cricketers.
Thank you, Doctor, for the great insight into this chronic kidney disease that Sri Lanka is gripped with. There'll be a fundraiser on the 7th of June at 4:30 at the Springvale Town Hall with the Shanti Foundation that is doing a great amount of work, making sure that the comfort of these kidney sufferers, young farmers who are suffering from this, so that they get elevated from this disease. So make sure you're there and helping us to raise funds for this.